awesome things about the Owl House Season 3 Episode 2 for the future. 1, 2, 3, go! Number 10. The aesthetics for this episode are pretty dang interesting. We get to witness a great juxtaposition between the current demolished landscape of the Boiling Isles, plagued with destroyed landmarks and graffiti, and the more sugary, Teletubbies-esque tone of the Collector's mind, whenever he Kirby's on down for some playtime. The idea of the Collector turning everyone into these cute but creepy marionettes and storing them in his castle like some giant toy box makes total sense. Plus, we really get to witness the creepy factor when a certain villainous slime actually takes one over, but we'll get to that later. Plus, it's nice to see another Hollow Mind situation where the crew is able to reveal a lot of story just by using the background art. It's not nearly as impressive as that episode, but pausing every now and then to read messages like "Beware the Collector" and "Where's your Titan now?" and "Kiss my Wait, kiss my grass? Kiss my grass. And it's over, ladies and gentlemen. That's Owl House 2 Censor 0. If you thought Talk to the Glyph Witch was an impressive play, you've never seen a maneuver quite like this one. Top all of this off with the sweet school to safe house transition with new Hexside, not to mention adorable and hilarious images aplenty, and you've got an episode with a ton of unique visual flair to it. Number 9. Belos continues to be a goopy, scary skeleton lurking through the pines, but this time with some interesting bells and whistles added in. As he treks across the island in search of a new physical vessel to inhabit, he starts seeing visions not only of Caleb, but also of the previous Golden Guards he had created and subsequently eliminated when they started becoming defiant of his wishes. And they don't even have to say a word or move a muscle to make Belos start second-guessing himself. Just a simple image of them standing motionless and staring at him, with the same knife Philip used to backstab him, constantly floating above his head like a Binding of Isaac power-up, taunting him, compelling him to justify his actions and make him think, "I did the right thing, okay? I was saving you from corruption! I was saving you from that witch! That's just fact! Why couldn't you just let me help you?" I feel like this kind of scene with Belos talking to a vision of his deceased friend could have gone on for longer, but that can be said for a lot of things in this episode since they have very limited time here. In the end, I do enjoy seeing some more human moments for Belos, despite him evolving into this insane slimy monster. We all know he's probably going to get toffied by the end of the series, so there's no sense in getting too attached to him, but it is nice to see that all this madness and all this insanity was motivated by simple misplaced love for his lifelong buddy. Eventually, Belos does find a new form to inhabit, which leads me to my next point. Number 8. Puppet Raine is friggin' awesome. Not only do I love the design, heck, I love the designs of all the Playtime townsfolk, with cute little details like pastel colors and stars, and Eberwolf with a little bow in his mane, which is freaking precious, but it was nice to see him up and about again, even if it is just Belos pulling the non-existent strings in this case. You know they chose the Raine puppet specifically for this scene, just as an excuse to get Avi Road back in the voice booth and have them let out some speaking lines before the finale. My guy is basically a main character at this point, so we can't have 2 out of 3 parts where they don't talk at all, and their performance was great as always. I really hope that Raine actually gets freed during part 3, so we can see them doing some cool stuff of their own accord. But if it's just going to be Belos being a ventriloquist for the remainder of the show, at least we get to see Raine walking and talking in some way, shape, or form. Also, maybe it's just me, but the central plot point of Collector making these fluffy, innocent toys kind of feels like a jab at Disney. Like, Disney straight up refuses to market any official toys or merch for this series, and of course it makes statements like, "It doesn't fit with our brand," or whatever. So it's almost like Dana jokingly redesigned the entire show to be fluffy, innocent, and marketable, as if to say, "There you go, scrubbed clean of anything dark and offensive. Is that brand friendly enough for you, Big D?" Or maybe that's just a coincidence. Number 7. King's newfound maturity shines once again as he suggests that they try reasoning with the Collector instead of just zip-zapping him to dust with a titanic scream of terror. As you would expect, King shares a unique kind of kinship with Collector, since he at one point was also a lonely, innocent child of a higher being that was able to fill an empty void in his life with genuine companionship. And we see small hints throughout the episode that Collector isn't necessarily a bad kid. A little bratty and selfish at times, and what kids aren't, but not evil. Heck, he did allow both Lilith and Ida to remain as their normal selves, kinda, at the request of his best buddy. Heck, there's even a shot during the credits where we see King body-blocking Ida to keep her safe, and Collector clearly sees this and understands how much she means to him. I gotta admit, I am kinda curious about what exactly they're gonna do with this kid in the end. I mean, if they do decide to let him go free, which they seem to be doing, he is still gonna get bored and crave attention from someone or something. Are the residents of the Boiling Isles gonna take cosmic babysitting shifts? Are they gonna send him to that island of the Collector fanboys for the rest of his life? Are they gonna stick him in front of a laptop with a 50 million year long Cocomelon compilation? There are only so many ways you can let this kid live and keep him satiated at the same time. In the end, though, it would be interesting to see how and if King can calm this little star child down in the third part. You've truly grown, my little Cubone, and now it's time to show us all what you've got.
I am a man.
Oh, and speaking of men, number 6, Man Tholomule. I don't know where this came from, I don't know who thought of this, but it deserves all of my yes. I'm not going to pretend that Matt Tholomule was anywhere near my favorite characters list, but I will admit that he did gradually grow over time. From generic bully in Something Ventured, to redeemable friend in Looking Glass Ruins, to revolutionary leader in this episode. And it's not like he's all hairy lip and no action. He actually has some genuinely good ideas that are only being ignored because this Bosch baby is the one currently sitting on the throne. It was cool to see him take action in crisis situations, complete with a few party tricks that he picked up from Gus, having him try to come off as manly and dreamy, but just making everyone puke their pants at the sight of him. And of course there's the climactic scene where we see his balls drop. Don't laugh, you know what I'm talking about. This was an unexpected triumph for a mostly tertiary character, but a welcome and epic one. He's got my vote in the next new Hexside elections. Number 5, Willow's character really gets to take root in this story, as we get a decent chunk of this episode dedicated to her literal, ever-growing stress revolving around being the strong one of the group. Ever since her first appearance, we've seen that extreme emotion has the potential to trigger her incredible plant power. So it makes sense for more and more vines to engulf her as the repressed feels continue to build without release, starting as small, easily snappable sprouts and turning into massive poison ivy-style floral tendrils. But luckily, Willow's got her 2 best buds by her side to both save her from herself and also encourage a much-needed venting session so she can finally calm down and focus. She bawls her adorable eyes out, allowing the vines to dissipate and Hunter to super speed the trio straight out of the trap. Oh yeah, did I mention that Hunter has freaking flash powers now thanks to Flapjack's sacrifice? So you're telling me that these things can both counteract magical curses and potentially give you superpowers? Oh, and of course, there's a little hand-holding moment slapped in there for the surprisingly massive Huntlow stan population out there.
Raid is still the best ship in the show. You will fight me, and you will lose.
Overall, it was nice to see another plot involving Willow, since the poor girl tends to get sidelined more often than any character in the main cast. I'm glad she's been able to grow into her own. Number 4. Just this. I love this. All of this. While I do prefer Lilith's black hair a little bit for nostalgia purposes, this new redhead wine ant look is such an interesting style for her. And just like Amity, it's a nice way to reflect her change in attitude, loyalty, and general standards. This is going to be the new norm for the last of the series, so I suggest we make like wine ants everywhere and drink it all in. Number 3, Camila. Just Camila in general. Everything about this Noseta Mamacita was pure freaking gold. From the way she tries to remain motherly, understanding, and hospitable in spite of the world around her being an eldritch abomination, the way she cries her poor eyes out while flying on a magic staff for the first time, which is freaking adorable, the way she still manages to be a boss without magic, like pulling a ninja baseball Batman by chucking her slugger right at Kikimora's mouth, which we can actually see now, by the way, the awesome hidden nerd side she's been concealing all this time, being able to quote discount Star Trek from memory, and of course her wonderful emotional climax with Luce where she apologizes and admits her true intentions behind her pushiness towards normalcy. She simply didn't want Luce to face the same problems she did while she was growing up. And in the end, simply being understood is the only thing that Luce truly wanted. This leads to a happy mother-daughter makeup and something we're going to talk about next. If there's anything that really frustrates me about a shortened Season 3, it's that characters like Camila, who have the potential to be top 5 in the series material, didn't get as much screen time as they should have had. But credit where it's due, what we did see of Camila is an awesome balance between motherly, awkward, nerdy, awesome, and funny. And after witnessing just how happy being on the Boiling Isles makes her daughter, I'm gonna place my bets right now that she might be willing to let Luce continue being a Clawthorn permanently. It'd be hard to let her original daughter go, sure, but maybe she'd see it as making up for the time that she tried to suppress the very things that made Luce, Luce. Or maybe they'll find some kind of happy medium where they put together a stable portal and then Luce stays with Camila for a week and then Ida for a week and then back and forth and back and forth. I don't know. They'll probably figure something out. Heck, once King grows up into a full-size Titan, I'm sure he'll have no problem being a blood donor for such a noble cause. Number 2, after egging us on for freaking ever, we finally get to see what Luce's palisman actually is.
It's nothing!
Okay, so this slinky little chimera is apparently called a snake shifter, and it's able to transform into whatever kind of animal it wants. On the surface, this is actually a really clever way to please every single fan and writer who predicted what Luce's palisman was going to be so no one gets upset.
I want to make
A dragon?
I want to
Spooky bat?
And he's like, guys, you're all right.
But it still works really well thematically too. Luce literally says she made it an egg because she wanted it to decide its own destiny. And in the end, it chose to take a page out of Mama's book and be a little bit of everything. A palisman like this definitely mirrors Luce's creative mindset and her try-it-all attitude. And the design, while not one of my all-time favorites, is still appropriately adorable. I find it hilarious that Dana managed to gatekeep this reveal from us not once, not twice, but 3 times before it finally got unveiled. And in the end, I'd say the grand reveal was worth the wait. Welcome to the team, String Bean. I can't wait to see what other wacky adventures we'll have with you. Yeah. Right. Never mind. And of course, number 1, Hooty only has one proper line of dialogue, and it still manages to be one of the most beautiful, poetic, and memorable moments in the whole episode. Even as a spring-loaded cube of concealed nightmares, you still manage to be a legend, my guy. Also, his toy design is both hilarious and adorable.
It's my in a box. My in a box, babe.
Overall, this was a pretty good second outing for the 3rd season. I do think that Thanks to Them is a bit better since it was less cluttered and had more noteworthy moments, but I'm definitely hyped for the grand finale. I'll be watching it when it first premieres and dreaming that the series didn't have to end so soon. But until then, it's time to hear what you guys think. What are your opinions on For the Future? Do you think that Season 3 is worth all the wait and hype so far? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I hope to see you all real soon.